Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is indeed a pleasure for me to be again with you on this very successful forum. It's already a well-established yearly event, and it's always nice to see that such competent speakers like to return to our yearly events and conversations. It's true that this particular topic, the Caspian Energy Hub, is challenging in its, well, diversity. It's such a multifaceted topic. And before I open the panel, I would like to just make a couple of introductory remarks to put the issue a little bit into perspective. The Caspian Basin, as we call it, is by now long established as a modern and reliable producer of hydrocarbons and an energy source for Europe and Asia alike. On the west bank of the Caspian Sea, Azerbaijan has grown over the last 2 decades into a production hub thanks to large-scale investments of capital and know-how by energy majors, but also thanks to massive political support in building the needed transport infrastructure, support that came especially from the United States and some European countries in the 1990s and the 2000s. And I'm referring, of course, to the Baku-Tbilisi-Ceyhan oil pipeline built between 2002 and 2005, and then to the Baku-Tbilisi-Erzurum, to the South Caucasus pipeline that followed about 1 year later. On the Caspian eastern shore, gas-rich Turkmenistan has turned, as of 2009, into China's foremost natural gas provider, while the Kazakhstan-China oil pipeline has been supplying about 40 million tons of crude oil per year to China's Xinjiang province, as I said, every year since 2009. Now, for the European Union, the Caspian has turned into the main alternative external source, potential, of course, alternative to the dominant Russian supplies. The second strategic review of 2008 has defined the concept of the Southern Gas Corridor, which was initially assumed to largely coincide with Nabucco. So, informally, the Southern Gas Corridor meant Nabucco. But which ended up, as of mid-2013, with a different route and juridical architecture, as both Washington and Brussels have backpedaled from their previously more assertive strategic stance towards one of commercial neutrality, as former Energy Commissioner Günther Oettinger liked to call it, about the various contending projects within the Southern Gas Corridor. So the Southern Gas Corridor's configuration presently consists in the following: the Shah Deniz field's full development, or I should rather call it second phase development, in case we'll see a third phase of it, an extension of the South Caucasus pipeline, a new main pipeline to cross Turkey called the Trans-Anatolian pipeline, and of course TAP, the Trans-Adriatic pipeline, to link the Turkish-Greek border to southern Italy over northern Greece and Albania and underneath the Adriatic Sea. In September 2013, the Shah Deniz Consortium has concluded gas sale agreements with 9 European buyers in Italy, Greece, and Bulgaria. In fact, 20 years long-term contracts for an overall volume of 10 billion cubic meters per year. But more recently, the waters have again been stirred against the background of the Ukrainian crisis, as Russia has announced in December 2014 the cancellation of the South Stream gas project and its replacement with Turkish Stream. A pipe hose construction is due to start shortly and go to Turkish Trakya instead of Varna, as South Stream was supposed to. And again, as Gazprom announced, the end of its Ukrainian gas transit as of 2019. A new competition of gas projects has swiftly followed in southeastern Europe in the expectation that the cards will be reshuffled, with each country in the region hoping to become the obligatory passageway, as they like to call themselves, well, a couple of years ago. In this context, a number of questions are worthwhile raising in our conversation today about the prospects of the Caspian Energy Hub. Of course, other aspects will certainly be touched upon, but I would like to suggest a few issues. First, how effective is the access of Azerbaijani gas to the European markets by Turkish Stream, by this project? And the prospect of a Turkish energy hub next to the Turkish-Greek border. Is it likely that TAP will also ship Russian gas? Then, will Azerbaijan be able to develop quickly enough other fields in order to do justice to the huge investment in the Southern Gas Corridor's infrastructure? And in this context, how likely is it that a project such as AGRI, the Azerbaijan-Georgia-Romanian interconnector, that LNG-based scheme, which has again received supportive declarations in Bucharest just 2 days ago. So how likely is it that this will have available gas sources on the medium term, 10 years from now, let's say? How prepared is Azerbaijani gas to deal with the price competition from Russia, but also possibly from the Black Sea offshore, northern Iraq, Iran, and eastern Mediterranean, against the background of slumping gas demand in Europe? And finally, what about the Trans-Caspian pipeline, this never-ending conversation? Any chance to see a realistic project to cross the Caspian Sea in the next 10 years? On the longer term, what appears at present to be Turkmenistan's interest in diversifying away from China toward the European markets may have its symmetry in Baku's wish to access the Chinese market. Who knows? We'll see. So these are just a few points that I think it will be interesting to have discussed today.